Do 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 do. Guys? Hmm? Hello and welcome to All Your Show Art Belong to Us. I'm EyesEpicBlue and today I'm going to be talking about Tribes Ascend. Now Tribes Ascend is a free-to-play online first-person shooter that was put out by Hi-Rez back in April. It's pretty much a red versus blue type of game. Similar to something like Halo matchmaking, you basically have two teams, the Blood Eagles and the Diamond Swords. Now these two teams fight each other in various game types and in different arenas. Admittedly, it's not the most unique concept in the world, but Hi-Rez does a really good job of pulling it off. And it seems that they've done things right, so far. Now in the game, there's ways to upgrade your soldier and the weapons that you use, and if you want to, you can use real cash to do it. Now spending actual money isn't necessarily required in this game to be able to keep up with other players. But for a lot of people that start playing the game, they will spend money on upgrades just so that they can keep up with the players that have been there for a while. Now this is a platform where a lot of games, and especially online games, are going towards, where the game itself is free to play. But if you want to upgrade your weapon, if you want to upgrade your character, if you want to unlock special abilities, then you have to actually spend cash to do it. It's kind of a brilliant but slightly annoying platform at the same time. On the one hand, since the game itself is free to play, you can download it, and there's already a stockpile of people that are playing the game. But on the other hand, at times it may seem like you have to spend money just to keep up with everybody else. Again, it's not required, but you know how that goes. So with a concept that's not exactly unique, but really good execution as far as the game is concerned, I give Tribes Ascend 3 shields. Now I have to admit, the music in this game is kind of awesome. And kind of that deep orchestral, stringy, vocal type music, Tribes Ascend offers music that's battle ready and yet offers a good backdrop to the game. Now the sound effects, they're kind of a different story. A lot of the sound effects for this game are insanely repetitive, and in all honesty, it sounds like they stockpiled the sound effects from Quake and then just put them in this game. And because this is an online game, other players can use taunts to taunt you, not that it ever works, and some of them get a little too button happy and it becomes really annoying. Because even when you shoot them in the head, you still can't shut them up. So with really good music to the game, but very repetitive and overused sound effects, I give audio for this game 4 shields. Now for a free-to-play online game, the graphics in Tribes Ascend are pretty sweet. Your guys are decked out and, bulky and manly. The levels are basic but well designed. The scenery and the color tones offer good variety with each of the different levels that you play. And the game itself just looks good. With that, I give visuals 4 shields. The gameplay for Tribes Ascend is about as straightforward as you can get. You team up with other players in different arenas using different classes of fighters in order to compete against each other. Now the variations in the arenas and the variations with the classes themselves, gives a lot of good variety to the game. With Tribes Ascend, you have your basic types of gameplay. You have deathmatch, you've got capture the flag, arena, capture and hold, as well as custom games and ranked matches. Now when you first start playing Tribes Ascend, Team Deathmatch and Capture the Flag are the only arenas that are available to you. The other arenas unlock once you reach level 8. Now the classes in the game are pretty straightforward, and honestly they're almost identical with other classes that you'll find in other games of the same genre. You have things like your Pathfinder, your Sentinel, your Soldier, your Juggernaut, your Raider, which if you've played these types of games enough, you'll know that it's just the same things that you were in the last game you played, just called by a different name. And just like the arenas in the game, when you first start playing, there's only 3 classes that are available to you. The other classes you're able to buy in the game once you accumulate experience points. The more you play, the more experience points you get, and the more stuff you can buy to make your gaming experience just a little bit better. Or if you want to, you can just spend real money and buy stuff that way. Now the arenas themselves are pretty straightforward. Some are small, some are big. Some require more close quarter combat, and with other maps you snipe each other from across the map just because it takes so long to get to the other side. Now one of the different and slightly unique things to this game is that each character is outfitted with jetpacks and ski boots. The jetpacks allow you to fly, while the ski boots allow you to glide across the surface of the land. Now that's as long as you're going downhill. The second you start going uphill, you lose all that momentum and come to a dead stop. Now the ski boots are unique, and it's cool because it makes the game just a little bit quicker, but in the same respect you have to aim really well just because everybody zips across the map as fast as they can. So a straightforward gameplay that's pretty fun, and with good variations on the classes and with some of the arenas. But still lacking in originality, I give the gameplay 4 shields. Now because this is an online first-person shooter, there's no real story development within the game, at all. Now there is backstory to this game that talks about the war between the tribes and Children of the Phoenix drama and generations of infighting and all that like you would find in a typical red versus blue type of game. And bridges Tribes 2 to Tribes Ascend. But without all that backstory, the story of Tribes Ascend is pretty straightforward. I shoot you before you shoot me. Done. So with an intriguing backstory to the game, if you want to actually go and look it up, but nothing within the game that offers any kind of development, I give the story 2 shields. Now, online games, when it comes to first-person shooters, they're solely about replay value. Since the games themselves usually don't offer any kind of storyline or any character development, the sole purpose of the game is to get you to play it again and again and again and again and again and again. In this game, you're not playing against bots, you're playing against actual people. So that means that every time you play the game, it's gonna be different. The same people that you played with before, you might not play with again. And so the skill levels change dramatically with each round that you play. Which means that it's easy to want to come back and play the game again. Especially if you dominated in that last round. So there is a lot of motivation to come back and to play the game more than once. So I give the replay value 5 shields. Now I do have to admit that there are certain things that I don't like about multiplayer games like Tribes Ascend. One reason is that in the beginning it's really easy to level up and to unlock certain things. But as you keep playing the game, it gets harder and harder to earn that experience to allow you to be able to unlock more stuff. This means that there's good progression when you first start the game, but as you keep playing it, it takes longer and longer and requires more and more and more matches to be able to match the same progression that you had when you first began playing. Now for me, and unless I'm alone in this process, and there are other people out there, this type of gameplay gets really old really quick. Now the points and reward system in Tribes Ascend is motivating enough to want to keep playing the game. But the main reason why I don't like multiplayer games, and you could tell me whether or not you agree with me, is that oftentimes these games are packed with people who do nothing but sit and play these types of games all day. So for anyone fresh coming into the game itself, or for people that don't have a lot of experience playing first-person shooters, it's really easy to get discouraged when your average lifespan within the game is only a matter of seconds. Oh, come on! Now, Tribes Ascend does have a balance system that tries to counter this type of gameplay, but with this game, there's no real way to compete against gamers of your same level. Oftentimes, you're thrown into matches with people of much higher ranks and a lot more experience, and so it becomes blatantly apparent at the beginning of every single match who's going to be the cannon fodder. So with a lot of good variety in the multiplayer, but with insanely unbalanced mashups within the game itself, I give the multiplayer 2 shields. So let's tally it up. And with a total score of 24 out of 35, I would say that this game is definitely worth playing. Now for right now, Tribes Ascend is only available on the PC, but Hi-Rez has said that they're not against bringing the game out for the Xbox 360 and the PS3. But beyond what I think of the game, what do you guys think of the game? Be sure to leave a comment down below, or you can find us on Twitter or our new page on Facebook. And with that, I'm EyesEpicBlue, and you must never